The Infected is about to get a massive update, which is currently in... The Infected is about to get a massive new update. The update is currently on the public beta branch, so if you do want to check it out, you can, but there is currently quite a few bugs and some little bits that need fixing. If you do find anything in there, please do report it to the developers. This new update features loads of awesome new stuff. Loads of fishing, new types of POI and buildings, waterfalls, rivers, and brand new cave systems, along with new enemies and even an ATV. The first thing that you'll note when checking out this new update is the map. The map has been expanded and definitely tweaked a hell of a lot. There is now a hell of a lot more mountainous terrain and bumps and lumps all over the place, so it doesn't just look like some sort of flat land with a couple of hills, which is a really, really nice way to add a lot of character to the map, and obviously add in loads of different ways to build your base, which I think is going to be really interesting to see what people do, especially with the current building system, which is really fun and you can already do some pretty cool things with it. And on the new map, you're going to find all sorts of new cave systems, beautiful scenery like the waterfalls, and also loads of new POIs. The loot system has also seen some massive changes, where the traditional looting systems are items will appear on the map, and you'll just be able to pick them up on tables, benches, and stuff like that. But now what you're going to be able to do is actually interact with things, like bin bags, ovens, fridges, sofas, and much more. And inside certain things, you will also come away with loads of loot, which is definitely going to help in the looting aspect. The one thing that I did find about the Infected was going into a sort of POI or a village and going through the loot was quite tedious, because you wouldn't really get too much, and then you'd have to move on to the next one. But now being able to actually search everything is definitely going to help that loot system and increase your playability and building aspects. There's also a brand new ATV in-game, which is going to be pushed as an early game vehicle, and it's first presented to you in a broken down state, but there'll be a tutorial section which will lead you to repair the vehicle, teaching newcomers key bindings and rewarding with a faster method of transport. It'll even come with a small storage chest, so it's quite cool. You'll be able to check for vehicle parts all around the map. There's a little bit of a hint in the devlog here. Check out the Lighthouse. I think having the ATV is going to be really good, especially for newer players, because the map is really, really big, and trying to get the truck was really difficult, I find. I think it was a tough one to get, because there was a lot of parts to it, there was a lot of craftable parts to it, and they were sort of end-game items as well. But I felt like by the time you'd already got to that point and got all the end-game stuff, you'd already done a bulk of the game, and there wasn't really much left to do other than building and tweaking. So, you know, I think the ATV is definitely going to make things a little bit more fun. There's also a brand new fishing system. Most of the bodies of water dotted around the map have had fish added to them. In the older version, there was a lot of bodies of water, but you couldn't always get fish out of certain ones. Now, you don't have to be poking fish with a spear. There's a new way to fish. Fishing mechanics have been added alongside a fishing pole and bait, so you can store your fishing pole on the weapons rack, and obviously you're going to have to go out and grab the bait. But I absolutely love this. It's going to help with the longevity of survival, and fishing bait can be crafted by the players on the workbench. I think this is really going to help when it comes to food production. I did find that food production in the previous version was a little bit difficult, but that was mainly because you had to craft the butcher's table and take it to the animal. Now you don't actually have to do that. They have changed that, and you can craft, well, not craft, but you can dismantle or butcher animals right there on the spot at the cost of some of the resources. So you don't get as much for doing so, but you can do it now, which does take a little bit of the time away from actually having to grab the carcass and go all the way back to your base, or building a butcher's station right then and there. The Itempedia has also been completely overhauled and now exists as an interactive book in the game. Additionally, what you can do is craft from the Itempedia, provided you have materials in your backpack. You can click an item image, and the required materials will automatically be added to the crafting table. There is also a filter system to navigate alongside a new tab specifically for medically related items. So this is much cooler. There was loads of stuff that I didn't know how to create in the previous updates, but now with the Itempedia, it's going to help be able to look through and figure out exactly what you can do. So it took me a while to actually figure out certain little bits, but now having this, you'll know what you want to aim for nice and early, which is good. Alongside the Itempedia, the tech system has had a massive revamp. Available technology blueprints are also displayed in an interactive book. However, you no longer need to locate the book to learn a new technology recipe. Instead, players will need to discover pages of the book in POIs. Players will be informed of specific technologies they've learned when a page is found, and a green checkmark will then appear on said page. There's also been new AI added. 3 new AI types have been added to replace old Vambies models. They've got new looks, animations, sounds, and behaviours. Fighting each type of AI will require different strategies or some trial and error. Don't be afraid to head into the settings and adjust them to your liking until you get the hang of things, but don't forget to use your shields. So the Vambies now look a hell of a lot better. They look more brutal. They don't just look like normal people, which I think is really, really cool. Very excited to actually get stuck in and see what these guys can do. So first we have the Vapors, or Vampires, infected humanoids with vampire traits, and then in the middle there you've got the boss, and then the other 2 are the minions. Next we have the Garwolves, which are a humanoid / werewolf beast. In the middle there, as once again we've got the boss, and then the 2 minions either side. And then finally we have the Diggers. These are brutish humanoids with infected traits, and as you can see we've got once again the minions either side and then the boss in the middle. Not gonna lie, this looks like a lot of the British building industry. All I need is a hard hat and a vest and I'll be pretty much matching. They've also added something called a land claim pole, similar to something like 7 Days to Die's land claim block, but this is required to actually create some items in the game. Not everything needs a land claim pole, but with a few that you will need them. You can also toggle on and off the land claim radius, which will show you how much of the land you're claiming, which pretty cool. I personally don't think it's something that's needed, but either way, it's there. They've also switched around the noise and light mechanics. Previous game versions, aggressive AI was located in POIs and randomly worldwide. They would target player frequently and raid the home base when players was in the residence. But in version 14, a new system puts players in control of their fate. While some tweaks are still being made, the overall design is as follows. Placeables will generate noise or light, which you can track via the claim pole meter display. And when the meters are maxed out, a base attack is triggered. We're very interested in getting this into the hands of a larger player base and getting feedback from the community. So definitely jump in and check it out. I mean, I do like the idea of the noise and everything, but I don't see the need for the land claim pole for it. Next up, we've got animal husbandry. The barn, as you can see here, this is a craftable structure similar to the greenhouse that works with a new animal husbandry mechanic. The barn has its own butcher's table and can house 2 animal types, which are goats and chickens. Chickens can be tranquilized and once picked up are added to your backpack. You can then add them to your kept animal list by interacting with the barn. Chickens produce eggs that are used to craft some complex foods. Goats can also be tranquilized, picked up and carried to the barn, and then they will use milk that is also used to craft some complex foods. They've also made some tweaks to the garage, so it will now spawn in the ATV, and also added some various things like bushes and other random little bits. There's some also new items in the game, like tyres, which can be found in the Lighthouse for the ATV, vegetable mix, which is used in crafting some foods, milk, and eggs, also a tranquilizer arrow, fishing pole, and obviously fish bait. There's also been some changes to caves and ores. Acquiring ore within caves will now be a little bit more fun, as what you'll need to do is place an extractor. Each cave will now randomly drop all 3 ore types, aluminium, cobalt and copper, instead of being restricted to one type. Iron acquisition has not changed. Placing an extractor anywhere not within a cave system will yield iron. There's also a ton of bug fixes and a few changes to the general UI and overall sound system. The new tree regrowth options in settings, so now we can actually change that, which is quite cool. There's also a toggle to disable lighting effect settings, and the new wind system. Now, wind turbines are not continually generating power anymore. They do still bring in power, but you're better off using solar and wind now as well. Obviously, as we mentioned earlier on, you can now harvest animals without the butcher's table, but you will receive far fewer resources. Lots of new changes to the AI settings as well, which is relatively good. I did find it was very limited originally, but it looks like update version 14 is going to be an absolute game changer for the infected. Now, I'm very excited to get stuck in and try this out. I think we might do a little bit of a series, just do possibly 10 episodes or something. When it launches, whether we should do it in beta or not, I'm not too sure. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. We could potentially start it off on either Monday or Tuesday, maybe with streams. I'm not 100% sure just yet. Either way, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. For now, though, I've been Wired. You guys have been awesome. Subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the video. I greatly appreciate it. If you do want to support the channel a little bit further, please consider becoming a member. Massive thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.